Alright, so here she is, you guys, the new 2022 Honda Pilot, finished in modern steel metallic. In case you were curious of the exterior color name that we had here, let's go ahead and start up front. That front grille is going to differ slightly amongst the trim levels. For example, you're going to get some black accents if you were to go with the special edition or black edition, of course. Then chrome accents essentially for all the other trims. So did want to point that out. To the sides, LED headlights do actually come standard across the board. Well done, Honda, for that. They do, of course, come with the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, they will turn on automatically for you there. LED daytime running lights also coming standard. Then if you were to go with the touring trim level and up, you will also find full LED headlights, meaning low beam and high beam. That's pretty cool, little added illumination there. And then the black edition is going to give you some black edition badging found in the front grille then as well. But overall, definitely a nice look. I love the LED fog lights down below coming standard across the board as well. So very good look for the front end. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side of this one. All right, so now since we are around here to the side, roof rails do come standard on all trim levels. And again, the finish is going to differ though amongst the trim levels. For example, black roof rails like you're looking at for the special edition and black edition, silver roof rails essentially for all the other trim levels then. But chrome window surrounds do come standard across the board. Body color door handles for the EXL and special edition, chrome door handles for the touring and elite, and then black door handles for the black edition trim level. Then taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with integrated turn signals for all trim levels. But in addition to that, the reverse gear tilt down feature also coming standard across the board. You don't always get that. Usually it's upper trim levels of other manufacturers, so that is pretty darn cool there. Power folding side mirrors then coming with the elite and black edition trim levels. But then let's go ahead and take a look at the wheel configuration here. 18-inch machine finished alloys coming with the EXL, 20-inch machine finished alloys for the touring and elite, and 20-inch gloss black alloys then for the special edition and black edition trims. But that pretty much rounds out the side of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. And so now swinging around to the back, body colored shark fin antenna found all the way to the top. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Rear window wiper found just below that. One of the cool things though, LED taillights coming standard across the board. I guess it's to be expected because the headlights were LED across the board as well. But that's pretty cool. Added illumination so somebody doesn't rear end you, of course. And just below it all, you will actually find a single exhaust outlet tucked away. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around back of the Pilot, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a power tailgate that does come standard for all trim levels. Special edition trim level and up then is going to give you a hands-free power tailgate, meaning if you wanted to, simply just walk up behind it, do a little kick underneath the rear bumper there, and it is going to automatically open up for you. But there are other ways, of course. There is a button on the key fob itself. There's also a button on the driver's door and a button on the tailgate itself as well. So you got plenty of options there. Once opened up, cargo capacity is going to come in at 16.5 cubic feet behind that third row. If that was not enough space, of course, the third row does fold down, bumping it up to 46.8 cubic feet. Then with all rows folded down, that is going to come in at 83.8 cubic feet. So plenty of space back there. Did want to also mention in the cargo area, there is cargo lighting. There's a couple grocery bag hooks back there as well. There is in-floor storage as well, which is pretty cool. I always like seeing that in SUVs. So if then you're wondering where is the spare tire, it's actually located up underneath of that rear bumper in case you were curious. But love the in-floor storage there, and there are some tie-down anchors that come standard for all trim levels then as well in the cargo area. But then making our way up to that third row legroom, that is going to come in at 31.9 inches. So for reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. A little bit cramped, but I can say you could probably move the second row up slightly if you're able to and give the third row passengers a little bit more space then. There is rear ventilation though for all trim levels, which was nice to find. For the third row, it's going to be found on the side there as opposed to like the ceiling of it. So wanted to mention that. And you actually have 3 cup holders on both sides for the third row. Usually you get 2 on other SUVs. So I like that they gave you 3. You got an extra cup holder. So So that's pretty cool. So stay thirsty, my friends. But anyways, making our way up to the second row legroom, that is going to come in at 38.4 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. Yet again, this is how much space I had in the second row there. Bench seating is going to come with the EXL and Special Edition trim. And then you can find captain's chairs for the touring trim level and up. And actually with that touring trim level, it could go either way. You can get it with bench seating or captain's chairs. But anyways, dual USB charging ports coming standard for all trim levels. But here's the best part for me. Rear window sunshades also coming standard for all trim levels. That is pretty darn cool. I love rear window sunshades because I got 2 little kids, and that does of course help keep the sun out of their eyes when the sun is super bright, and it's a heck of a lot better, the factory option, as opposed to the ones that you get from Walmart. So I was definitely a big fan of that. Heated rear seats then coming with the touring trim level and up, and in addition to that, with the touring trim level and up, you're also going to get a 10.2 inch rear entertainment screen on the ceiling as well for the rear passengers, so you could play Blu-rays or connect wirelessly or whatever you want to do. So that's a pretty cool option there too. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the front seats. 10-way power driver's seat with power lumbar for all trim levels. 4-way power adjustable passenger seat then as well. Leather seating is actually coming standard across the board. That is pretty cool. Ventilated front seats then coming with the Elite and Black Edition trim levels. And overall, seat comfort was plenty fine. I had no issues whatsoever, but perhaps my favorite part were these individual little armrests here for both the driver and the passenger. It definitely made for a very comfortable place to put my elbows while I was just kind of relaxing and driving there. So I like the little individual armrests. They work well for this one. But now, let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped for every single trim level. And if you were to go with the Elite or Black Edition, it will be heated then as well. Now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. You do have your Honda logo on the one side. Then when you flip it over, you do have lock, unlock, the button to pop the rear hatch, and then the circular button that says hold. That is going to be your remote start, which comes standard across the board, along with a push button start also coming standard. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that bright red engine start button located just to the left of the climate control information there. And so once started up, you will find your engine temp all the way to your left, fuel information all the way to your right, and a fairly large digital display front and center. To control what is on that digital display, there are steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel there. It gives you a ton of different information. Of course, you have a digital speed readout. It also will kind of show you how you're driving at any given time, because there's an upper LED portion that's going to change from green to blue. So if you're driving more eco-friendly, it's going to be green, and vice versa. So that's pretty cool too there. It's also going to tell you when you need your next oil change. You can check out your radio information up there. The list goes on. There is plenty you could check out, so that is pretty darn cool as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality here. A power moonroof coming standard on every single trim level. You gotta love that. Ambient LED lighting coming with the touring trim level and up, although it's going to change color depending upon which trim level that you go with. If you go with the touring or elite, you're going to get blue LED ambient lighting, but if you go with that Black Edition, you're going to get red LED ambient lighting. So I think that's pretty cool. Overhead sunglass holder with the school bus mirror coming standard on all trim levels. I always think that's pretty cool because then you can kind of spy on the rear passengers. So I like that. Auto dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink controls also coming standard across the board. Well done, Honda, with all the new standard features. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a lot more that comes standard now on the Pilot, and I'm a big fan of that. Tri-zone climate control coming standard for all passengers as well, meaning driver, passenger, and rear passengers can all set their own temperatures if they wanted to. Wireless phone charger coming with the Special Edition, Elite, and Black Edition trim. So that's going to be located just in front of the cup holder. So as long as you have a smartphone that's capable of that, you just simply set it down on there and it's going to wirelessly charge. It's pretty cool. Overall, as far as interior quality goes, it definitely gets the job done. There's a heck of a lot of soft touch material, which I'm a big fan of, especially on the doors where you rest your elbows. There's a lot of soft touch material there as well. There's a lot of different compartments on the doors too. I want to mention that because typically when you're looking at the doors on the inside, there's 2 tiers, but with the Pilot, there's actually 3 tiers. You got the bottom area, you got the mid area, and then you got the top area next to the window buttons too. So that is pretty cool. And like I said, wireless phone charger in front of the cup holders. You have a 12-volt power outlet USB charging port. To the right of all the drive buttons, you do have dual cup holders there. And just behind all of that, you have one of the largest center storage areas I think I've ever seen. You could fit a heck of a lot of stuff in there. And that includes a 12-volt power outlet and yet another USB charging port as well. And you can actually close that up for a more cleaner look too if you didn't want people seeing what was in there. So I like that too. So overall, interior quality is definitely practical. It will get the job done. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the tech. And so when it comes to that infotainment screen, it is an 8-inch color touchscreen display that comes standard across the board. Bluetooth and audio streaming also coming standard. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay as well. Factory navigation system is going to come with the Touring trim level and up. Although as long as you have a smartphone, you don't need that because of Android Auto, Apple CarPlay after all. There is a cabin talk intercom system coming with the Touring trim level and up. So I can't show that to you guys because we have the special edition, but essentially it's going to pick up on the driver's voice and then kind of project it into the rear of the Pilot, which is pretty cool. You can yell at the kids extra loud if you wanted to. Do want to also mention Honda has some really cool clock options if you chose to display that up on that infotainment screen. I always enjoy looking at them. And of course you can check out your radio information up there as well. And so when it comes to the sound systems of the Honda Pilot, I will say 7 speakers is going to come with the EXL and Special Edition that we have today. But if you were to go with any of the other trim levels, you're actually going to get a 10-speaker premium sound system with 590 watts and a subwoofer. But again, not the one we have today. The Pilot is. It's not like you're going to need some crazy sound system for this thing. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen at least is when you do put the Pilot in reverse, you of course will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board with 3 different views, which is pretty cool. And that, as always, is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, the Honda Pilot is an IIHS top safety pick, which pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard yet again across the board, Honda Sensing. This is going to include a collision mitigation braking system, road departure mitigation system, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, and automatic high beams then as well. And so